looking back at your start last weekend, probably not exactly what you wanted. How much of that was elements? How much was it, not feeling it? Or just lead us through that start from your perspective.
I mean, before I had gone out originally, like throwing and in the bullpen and stuff, I felt great. I had taken the previous week off, so I felt like I was ready to go. My arm felt good, body felt good. Just going out there, I guess it was different. It was a little different from the bullpen, and just having to adjust. That first inning was a little rough, so I think coming out in the second and third, I just had to get more familiar with the ball and how much rosin to use and stuff like that. But it started getting a little comfortable out there. It was still not going my way, as many strikes as I usually throw. But I was trying my best and just trying to get some through. So.
And how much do you think just the experience of playing in a postseason game like that will kind of help you, this weekend?
Yeah, this last game was definitely a learning game. Just trying to understand, how to be better even when things aren't going your way, and just fighting through it. So I think that was a good way of learning after yesterday's game, and plan to be better in the rest. So,
what was the toughest mental challenge, do you think, on that game on Sunday? Obviously for you, what do you think was the biggest struggle?
I think it was just the fact that I was giving up walks. I know it's not something I usually do. So just the fact that I was doing that and just trying to find the zone, I was just not in my head, but I was just trying to get it through, and I was just trying to find my best way to throw some strikes.
You didn't want to back out for the fourth on Monday? You just called it good there?
I would have loved to if my arm let me.
With this being a 3-game series coming up and you getting the ball on Monday, presumably either you won't pitch or it will be a must-win game. Do you think about that at all, or how do you feel about that?
I'd love to not pitch. I'd love for us to win the first two, but then again, I'd just love to go out there for the boys and throw. So either way, it's a win-win for me. So, but yeah, I just hope we get the first two and we keep riding the high wave.
One thing about Kentucky is they kind of play a small ball, sort of a lot of base running, a lot of bunting, and that's kind of their style. How does that challenge you as a pitcher? How does it change how you approach a lineup?
When there's runners on base, you kind of just try to mix up your timing a lot, prevent them from stealing and stuff. When there's no runners on, it's not really too much different for me. I think just when there's runners on, just knowing like who you have on first base and who's on the bases. So just understanding, who's going to go, who's not, and how much of a threat they are.
When you have a first inning like that the other day, what does between the first and the second inning look like for you? What's your process in the dugout? How are you trying to get back on track? And I guess just kind of take us through that process.
After that, I'm just kind of thinking just attack, right? Just trying to give the hitter something to hit, make them feel like they have to swing. So in that second inning, I was just going in. I was throwing some more heaters. So I started throwing more fastballs and just trying to get some swings and ground balls, and it was working out pretty well. So
when the conditions are the way they are, do you kind of try to cut something from your repertoire? Do you go to a two-pitch mix? Like how do you kind of deal with that when it might be hard to get a grip on some of your off-speed stuff?
No, not necessarily. I was still throwing all three pitches. You've seen that slider and that last pitch I had thrown. It kind of popped out a little bit, but I guess just the sliders I was throwing a little less of because couldn't find a good grip, but. I was still throwing all three pitches, trying to keep them attacking them. So,
you guys' lineup gets so much attention; it kind of overshadows everything that you guys have done. But I guess, what do you like about your staff and your odds against Kentucky heading into the weekend?
Yeah, no, I love how we're aggressive. Everyone's not afraid to attack. Sometimes the walks come, but we overcome it and try to minimize as much as we can. And as a team, we know we have each other's backs. So as long as we keep doing that, I think we'll be great.
Is there a sense that there is so much attention on the lineup that you guys kind of do slide under the radar a bit, or is it just whatever?
I think early on in the season, we were sliding under the radar a bit, but I think the fans kind of going to appreciate how much better we've become in pitching as a staff. So, yeah.
What's your biggest concern heading into this weekend? As a pitcher on the mound, and obviously as a team as well, heading into Kentucky on a road, it's going to be a hostile environment. They're obviously one of the best teams in the country this year, best in the SEC. What's kind of your opinion on that?
So I haven't done too much research on the hitters so far or anything like that, but I just know they're a pretty good hitting team. They're just a great team all around, so it's definitely going to be a good series and competitive, and we just hope to one-up them and kind of stay aggressive.
Is there anything different you have to do in terms of preparation? You pitched a lot of road games, but it's sort of maybe be a different type of environment that maybe you're used to. Anything in your preparation this week to, address that, I guess?
No, I plan to stay the same. I think, they're fans and their team are going to be pretty loud too, and I think I've gotten a little used to it being here at Goss. I know it's not going to be on our side as much, but just I've gotten kind of used to the loud crowd and stuff like that, so it's not really like a main factor that I have to change in my game.
What do you think is the biggest stride you've made in your game, just from when you arrived in Corvallis to now?
I think just attacking with my off speed more. In the beginning of the season, I was super reliant on the fastball. I would throw it maybe 80% of the time. I've started mixing in more changeups and sliders, and I think that's worked really well to throw the hitters off.
And how are you feeling about the changeup these days?
Oh, it's been well. I've been really loving it.
Those are kind of the three you lean on? Mostly?
Yeah.
We heard a story from Skip after the Saturday game of during Jacob's outing about he and Dorr were debating if they were going to let him keep going, and you poked your head in and said, yeah, let him keep ripping. What were you seeing out of him, and how much, obviously you pay a lot of attention in the dugout when you're not going, but what are you looking for when you're watching those guys?
Well, with Jacob, you just know he's not going to want to go out, right? So I just kind of knew he was in that zone, and he was being aggressive, and he was doing great out there, and I just knew that he was going to go out and do it again. So I was like, why not? Yeah, give it to him. He's going to do it, and he did. So he did really good this weekend.
They often listen to you?
Here and there. I just had a little nod of approval kind of thing, let him go, come on, and he went out. So
you're like, that's the first time they listened to me all year.
It was nice. Yeah.
How would you describe the way Aiden's throwing here down kind of the stretch of the season? He had that scoreless streak. He's been so dominant. What does he bring to the top of the rotation?
Yeah, he's been amazing. He's always just attacking and being aggressive and confidence, making the hitter think that he's going to get beat, and just always thinking he's going to win, and bringing that to the staff and kind of making everyone think like that, and just getting everyone to act like they're a dog on the mound and they can get anyone out. It's like that kind of mentality he brings to the team, and I think we've all incorporated into our game over the season as a staff. So,
do you guys watch film together, or do you is that an individual thing where you go through the lineups or yourself, or do you guys starters get together like that? How does that work?
Usually the whole staff would get together. Lately we've been doing kind of on our own a little bit more, just with the schedules being a little more busier. But I think everyone's been getting in on their own right now, though. Okay. But earlier on in the season, as a team, we would get together just to kind of learn how to scout and stuff. Right, yeah. So.
When we see Keljo out there, he's obviously really pumped up, kind of a bulldog. It gets really fired up coming off the mound, and then we get him in the press conference, and he is really quiet and really soft-spoken. What do you think is closest to the normal Nelson, if you could kind of describe it?
Nelson's a pretty funny guy. I don't know how much he likes to talk around you guys, but when he's off the field, he loves to mess around and have fun. But when he's on the mound and he gets out there in the game, he just turns on a mode. And he turns into a beast, and you've seen it. I mean, it's great to see. So
he's not always like that behind the scenes?
No.